Hey there, gem hunter. What if someone told you out of the blue that a dull-looking fungus stuck to a damp tree trunk deep in the forest could lead you straight to a diamond deposit? Would you believe it? Probably not. After all, everything we've been taught about finding riches usually involves treasure maps, deep mines, or high-tech gear. Not something that looks like mold and gets ignored even by people who live in the woods. But nature doesn't follow our rules. It has its own secrets, and one of them is hiding the extraordinary inside the ordinary. This fungus, overlooked by most, only grows in soil with a rare mineral signature. That signature is like a natural compass, pointing the way to hidden treasure for those who know what they're looking for. Here's the amazing part. You don't need to be a scientist or a pro explorer. You just need to be present, observant, and open to seeing what most people miss. Picture this. You're walking down some random trail, trip over a branch, kneel down to take a closer look, and there it is, stuck to the trunk. Your first sign. A tiny detail that changes everything, and once you realize that detail is Earth's secret code, nothing along your path seems ordinary anymore. Because where others just see dirt, you start seeing possibilities. Today, you're about to uncover a secret that will completely change the way you walk through nature. And no, that's not an exaggeration. It's like putting on a pair of glasses that reveal what's been invisible all along. Because this unassuming little fungus, often overlooked by everyone, is way more than it seems. It's a silent marker, a precise signal showing exactly where the earth hides some of its most valuable treasures. And the craziest part? This knowledge isn't locked up in a lab or hidden in some vault. It's out there, on the ground, on tree trunks, in those tiny details almost no one notices. Most people walk right past it. Some even step on it, clueless that they're inches away from something priceless. But you're about to step out of the group that misses it and join the ones who see. And trust me, the difference between those two groups is massive. After today, every trail becomes a new opportunity. Every hike turns into a real investigation. And when that shift happens, you'll remember this moment, because this is where it all started. So before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop a like on this video. Because this kind of content doesn't show up by accident. It found you. And only those who value what they learn keep receiving. The next signs. There are places where the wind feels different, where the smell of damp earth seems to hold ancient memories, and fallen tree trunks tell stories without saying a word. It's in these forgotten corners, where most people just see weeds and silence, that nature hides its most valuable secrets. The feeling is like stepping into an enchanted scene, as if something is just about to be revealed. And here's the wildest part. There are signs. Subtle changes in soil color, strange growths appearing where they shouldn't, and a silence that feels more like a whisper than absence of sound. Beat 2. Ground seems to breathe slowly there with a thick living energy. Some call it intuition, others instinct. But the truth is, when you learn to feel it, you know. You realize certain organisms only show up when something rare, very rare, is hiding below the surface. It's almost like the forest is trying to get someone's attention, and maybe that someone is you, because it's no coincidence that you're here right now, learning to read these clues. The next layer of this mystery is closer than you think. Most people would never guess that one of the greatest allies in the search for diamonds doesn't sparkle, doesn't shine, and looks nothing like a gemstone. It's dull, small, and hides among damp leaves and decaying logs. Its name can vary, depending on the region or species, but its role is always the same: to mark special ground, soil shaped by the scars of an ancient volcanic explosion, powerful enough to bring the world's most coveted crystals up to the surface. These fungi are picky. They don't grow just anywhere. They need a very specific kind of rock beneath them: kimberlite, which is nothing less than the birthplace of diamonds. When a mycologist or geologist spots this kind of fungus, a red flag goes up, because where it grows, there's a real chance that valuable minerals are hiding just below the surface. It's like a living arrow pointing down, whispering, "Look here." And believe it, this fungus never shows up by accident. For anyone just stepping into this fascinating world of natural prospecting, learning to recognize the indicator, fungus is like cracking a secret language. It usually shows earthy tones, ranging from gray to reddish, even orange. Its shape can vary from tiny cups to flattened discs or squat mushroom-like caps, depending on the species. It typically grows on decaying organic matter in damp, shaded areas with little direct sunlight. But the real clue lies beneath it: volcanic soil, dense and dark, often mixed with iron-rich minerals and black rock fragments. Experienced geologists even use handheld magnetic detectors to confirm the presence of kimberlite nearby. But those, fluent in nature's language, they just follow the signs. This fungus is like a coded message from the earth itself. There's something valuable underneath, and you don't need a lab to decode it. A magnifying glass, a cool beam flashlight, and a solid pair of boots might be all it takes to begin your journey. But a heads up, this fungus doesn't work alone. It's part of a bigger scene. So while finding a single one might be interesting, finding a cluster growing in a specific pattern is a real green light. In some documented expeditions, mycologists mapped entire colonies growing in perfect alignment over surface fractures, and by following that trail, they realized they were literally walking over a vein of kimberlite. It's like nature left breadcrumb clues for anyone who knows how to read the map. This is where science meets instinct. Because yes, there's biology, geology, and research involved. But there's also perception. Those who ignore this fungus walk right past the secret. But those who learn to recognize it step into a whole new kind of exploration, one that begins with observation and ends with the metallic clink of a shovel hitting something way harder than expected. Drop a comment. I found the key, if this is starting to unlock something in your mind. Behind every mystery nature reveals, there's always a solid foundation that science eventually confirms. And with the indicator fungus, it was no different. For decades, it was just a strange little detail on the forest floor, ignored and overlooked. Until researchers started connecting the dots. Studies in regions with a history of volcanic activity revealed an astonishing correlation between these fungi and the presence of kimberlite, the mother rock of diamonds. Respected universities and geological institutes began publishing papers showing that certain microorganisms simply don't grow anywhere else. And it's not because they like those spots. It's because those environments are rich in specific minerals that these fungi can detect with biological precision. In other words, where most people see nothing, science sees a pattern. And that pattern? It's worth more than gold. It's worth diamonds. Out in the field, this knowledge became a game changer. Instead of pouring fortunes into blind drilling or high-end sensing technology, explorers started watching the surface. When a colony of specific fungi shows up in a damp, shaded area growing on dead wood over dense soil, trained eyes already know that's more than organic life. It's a silent signal, something pulsing underneath, hidden beneath layers of rock. There are documented cases where these fungi pointed to discoveries months before expensive tools confirmed anything. Which means nature was trying to tell us from the start, and science simply caught up. It's like the forest was whispering a secret that you can now understand too. And just knowing that puts you miles ahead of most people. That's why, if you've made it this far, you need to honor this knowledge, because most people will keep thinking a fungus is just a fungus. But you're not most people. You're learning to see with different eyes. And that puts you in a select group. A group that understands the power of seeing before everyone else does. So if this video is opening your mind, go ahead and smash that like button right now. That shows you're ready to see beyond the obvious. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel, because we're not done yet. I've got more secrets to share. Secrets that will transform the way you connect with the earth, and with what's buried deep inside it. Now that you understand the value of the indicator fungus, the big question is, how do you recognize one when you're face to face with it? The good news? Once you know what to look for, it becomes unmistakable. This fungus has a unique appearance, often in shades of gray, reddish, or copper, depending on the soil type and humidity in the area. It can take the form of a tiny cup, a flattened disc, or even look like a dry little chalice. Its texture is usually velvety or rough, standing out against the surrounding environment. It grows on decaying wood, exposed roots, or directly on the soil, always in densely shaded areas. The secret is in the details. It pops up where organic matter accumulates and moisture lingers. Untrained eyes walk right past it. But if you know what you're looking for, it hits you instantly. There's something here. Now imagine yourself on a quiet trail, flashlight in hand, scanning the base of a fallen log. Suddenly, you notice a cluster of 5 or 6 tiny, reddish discs growing in an almost perfect pattern. It looks like natural art. That's when observation turns into investigation. You might pull out a 10x pocket magnifier to check the fungus's edge details. Take a few shots with your phone to record the color. Even measure the soil temperature with a portable infrared thermometer. Many explorers do this as part of their routine now. Apps like iNaturalist or Seek can help with visual identification, comparing your findings with others from mineral-rich regions. But here's the most important part. Document everything. Photos, location, soil appearance. You're building your own map. A well-kept field journal can become your most powerful tool on this natural prospecting journey. And if you want to take it even further, here's a basic starter kit you can put together today. A cool white flashlight, pocket magnifier, a waterproof notebook, a moisture-resistant pen, smartphone or camera with good macro focus, plastic bags for samples, and a pair of gloves. No need to spend a fortune. The secret is in consistency, not cost. Take notes on every location where you find unusual fungi colonies, and compare them with online geological maps. Even older or lesser-known ultramafic soil regions are solid candidates. You don't need to be a geology expert to begin. You just need the desire to see what others don't. And once that becomes a habit, every piece of forest will feel like a page from a book, just waiting to be read. And who knows? Maybe the next sentence in that book will be written in diamonds. The fungus is just the beginning of the story. It's the first character in an ecosystem that, when closely observed, reveals a natural map hidden in plain sight. Nature doesn't speak with a single voice. it whispers in chorus. And if you learn how to listen, you'll notice that where this fungus grows, you'll also find specific lichens, unusual colored moss, and even soil bacteria that only thrive in mineral-rich environments. It's as if all these organisms are quietly pointing to the same place, just waiting for someone to connect the dots. Look closely. Bluish tints on tree bark, velvety textures on damp logs, and even the strange behavior of ants building trails around certain wet areas. These are extra clues you can't afford to ignore. It all fits together. The forest becomes a giant puzzle, and you become an environmental detective. With patience and a trained eye, every element starts to make sense. And the more you learn to interpret these signs, the clearer the path becomes. Because sometimes the ground doesn't shout, it draws. And those who learn to read its patterns are the ones who find what's been hidden. And now, I want to recommend something special. An ebook I created just for you to take this journey even deeper. With it, you'll become an expert at identifying precious stones anywhere in nature. The link is in the description. Go check it out and take the next step in mastering the Earth's hidden language. Now that you understand the signs, it's time to take action. Think of this as a mission. You're a modern-day explorer, and your first task is to build your very own treasure map. Start by researching public geological maps. Many of them are available online. Filter for areas with records of volcanic or ultramafic soils. Then, highlight regions with dense forests and low human interference, where nature still speaks loud and clear. From there, plan your first field outing. Bring your magnifier, notebook, and wide-open eyes. Don't go expecting to dig up gemstones on day one. Go expecting to observe the details. Log fungi sightings, note soil patterns, track repeated colony formations. Take photos, make sketches, compare them later. You're building knowledge, page by page. The difference between a casual hobbyist and a true treasure hunter isn't in the tools. It's in the mindset. Patience, method, and precision are your greatest assets. And with every trip, you're one step closer to connecting the final dot on your map to something real. And when that moment comes, you won't just find stones. You'll find the proof that seeing beyond the obvious is always worth it. Seeing a fungus where others just see dirt and sounds silly, until that dirt leads you to a discovery that changes everything. Because the real treasure isn't always the diamond itself, it's the ability to notice the invisible, to see beyond the surface. Most people walk through life like their eyes are closed, stumbling over signs that scream in silence. But those who train their vision start to see the world through a different lens. Every detail carries a code. Every irregularity holds meaning. Nature does speak, but not in Portuguese, not in English. It speaks in patterns, textures, smells, and vibrations. And it only answers those who've learned to truly listen. Once you start to decode that language, something inside you shifts. The ground gains depth. Silence becomes a conversation, and walking turns into a spiritual quest. Because once you learn to really observe, you'll never see the world the same way again. And that's the point. Diamonds come from the ground, but wisdom, that comes from the habit of observation. If this content opened your eyes to an invisible world, drop a comment below saying, "I see the signs." This isn't just a phrase. It's a commitment to this new way of seeing you've started building today. It's a sign that you're part of a small, rare group, a group that chose to stop ignoring the details. Share this video with someone who also deserves to learn how to see beyond the surface. because transformation starts with one click, but it multiplies when it spreads. And remember, those who observe, discover. Those who persist, uncover. And those who share, grow stronger. So go ahead and hit that like button right now. And subscribe to the channel to keep following this journey. Here, every video is another piece of the map, and only those brave enough to follow the clues will reach the places few ever do. Are you ready for the next step? Because the next sign is already on its way. And now, I want to personally invite you to keep going. Click on the video showing up right now on your screen and join me on the next adventure. See you soon, Gem Hunter.